We have talked a great deal about solutions to global problems that involve the actions of governments, international organizations, international regimes, non-governmental organizations, and transnational advocacy networks. Let's focus now on the role of the individual activist and the ethical actions of people like you and me. When it comes to ethics, there is an age-old debate about whether humans are inherently greedy and selfish, or whether they are capable of altruistic behavior that produces a good for another without deriving any benefit to the self. To be sure, there is likely to be evidence for both arguments. We can certainly see where individuals are driven to act in ways that are only beneficial to themselves, where only they gain from whatever behavior they are engaging in, and you can see evidence where human beings behave in selfless ways, sacrificing something with no expectation of compensation or benefit. Our task is not necessarily to determine whether humans are selfish or selfless, but to consider how and to what degree humans can make a difference in the global community by engaging in ethical and moral behavior. We can certainly see where individuals are driven to act in ways that are only beneficial to themselves, where only they gain from whatever behavior they are engaging in, and you can see evidence where human beings behave in selfless ways, sacrificing something with no expectation of compensation or benefit. Our task is not necessarily to determine whether humans are selfish or selfless, but to consider how and to what degree humans can make a difference in the global community by engaging in ethical and moral behavior. The philosopher Peter Singer writes about this subject in his book, The Life You Can Save: Acting Now to End World Poverty. In his book, he argues that any individual capable of giving up a luxury should do so in an effort to save others and end poverty. Not doing so, he says, is immoral. The fact that individuals living in relatively affluent areas of the world are aware of the plight of those living in poverty in other parts of the world suggests that affluent individuals should make sacrifices and attempt to end poverty. If affluent individuals do not do this, Singer argues, they are behaving in an unethical manner. His suggestion, therefore, is that individuals who are able to give to charity should. Of course, many can debate whether giving to charity is the best method of alleviating poverty. Others might argue that individuals would be better served to give of their time and talent rather than their treasure. And others might suggest that the best way to solve global problems, and in particular end poverty, is to enhance education and create sustainable business models that facilitate the generation of revenue in poor countries. No matter which argument you might make, however, few would debate that there is a role for individual activists to play in solving today's global problems. But what do you think? What would be your chosen method of engaging in today's global community and solving global problems? Do you believe donating one's time and at least part of one's income is the best way to fight some of the significant problems we've discussed throughout this class? Would we be better served to focus on market solutions and individual business models to solve global problems? Ultimately, is anyone obligated to save a life if a life can be saved? Tell us what you think.